Hi, thanks for watching. In this video, you'll learn all about giving advice. Specifically, we'll look at using the modals could, should, and would. Now, on to the contents. First, you'll see a dialogue between Jack and Sung-won.
Hello.
Jack is planning to go to Korea, and his friend Sung-won will be giving him some advice about what to do while he's there. Then we'll move on to the first grammar presentation. It'll begin with a look at the meaning of these three verbs. We'll see that could is used to talk about what is able to be done or what is possible. Should is used to give strong advice and to say what is right or morally acceptable and what is correct or socially acceptable. And would, which is used to talk about imaginary situations. Then we'll look at the grammatical pattern for talking about the present or future, which is modal verb plus not, if it's negative, plus the main verb in the base form. After that, there'll be some exercises for you to practice what you've learned. In the second presentation, we'll learn all about past modals. Could have done, should have done, and would have done. We'll take a look at the meaning. Could have done is used to talk about past options. Should have done is used to say what the right thing to have done was, and to talk about regrets. Finally, would have done is used to talk about an imaginary situation in the past. We'll also focus on the grammatical pattern, which is modal verb plus not plus have, and then the main verb in the past participle. Then we'll look at pronunciation. Specifically, we'll be focusing on vowel reduction in the auxiliary verb. There will also be exercises incorporated into the video for you to practice both grammar and pronunciation. Well, we've got a lot to do. Let's get started. Hi, Sung-won.
Hello.
Have you been waiting long?
No, I've only just arrived.
Oh, good. I'd hate to have kept you waiting.
So, why did you want to meet?
Didn't I tell you? I'm going to Korea next week.
Really?
Yeah, I just wanted to ask you some advice about what I should do while I'm there.
Oh, there's so much to do there. I don't know where to begin. What do you like doing?
Well, I'd like to do some shopping.
I think you should go to Myeongdong. They have some really good shopping there.
Okay, great. What about some famous historical places?
There are so many. Korea has such a rich history. You could visit Gyeongbokgung. Also, you could go to Dongdaemun. You could also see Namsangol Hanok Village.
Tell me, if you could only choose one, which one would you see?
I would definitely go Gyeongbokgung. It shouldn't be missed.
Thanks, I'll definitely check that out. Listen, I was also thinking of spending some time on Jeju Island. Do you think I should take the time to go there?
Yes, absolutely. I would definitely go if I were you. It's so beautiful there.
All right, thanks for the advice. So, tell me about yourself. What have you been doing lately?
Well, I've been...
Let's start with could. Remember, could is used to say what someone is able to do or what it is possible to do. For example, Sung-won told Jack, you could visit Gyeongbokgung, meaning it is possible for you to visit it. She also told him, you could go to Dongdaemun, meaning it is possible to go there. She also told him, you could see Namsangol Hanok Village, meaning it is possible for you to see it. Then Jack asked Sung-won if you could only choose one, meaning if you were only able to choose one, which one would you see? Okay, on to should. Remember, should has three meanings. It's used to give strong advice, to say what is right, morally, or to say what is correct, meaning what is socially acceptable behavior. Sung-won told Jack, you should go to Myeongdong, meaning I strongly recommend you go there. She also said it shouldn't be missed, meaning it is a mistake not to go there. Then Jack said, "Do you think I should take the time to go there?" Meaning, do you advise me to go there? Now let's take a moment to focus on each meaning individually. First, we'll look at using should to give strong advice. With this meaning, should is often preceded by I think or I don't think. For example, when Sung-won said, "You should go to Myeongdong," she could have said, "I think you should go to Myeongdong." Or if she had said, "You shouldn't go to Myeongdong," she could have said, "I don't think you should go to Myeongdong." Notice how the modal, should, is now positive. Okay, on to using should to say what is right morally. Obviously, you shouldn't kill someone. Neither should you steal. Now imagine you see somebody doing something that is wrong and you want to challenge their unacceptable behavior. When doing this, it is common to use modal plus be plus verb ing. For example, "Excuse me, Mr. Death, you shouldn't be killing people." Or, "Excuse me, Mr. Burglar, you shouldn't be stealing."
Really?
Finally, using should to say what is correct or socially acceptable. For example, "You should say thank you." Or, "You shouldn't smoke in here." Again, if you want to challenge someone's unacceptable behavior, use the modal plus be plus verb ing. For example, "Little girl, you shouldn't be blowing raspberries."
Sorry.
Or, "Excuse me, sir, but you shouldn't be smoking in here."
Sorry.
Could versus should. Remember, just because you could do something, that doesn't mean you should. For example, I could rob a bank. It's possible for me to do it, but should I? Is it the correct thing to do? No! Of course not. Also, I could jump out of a plane without a parachute. It's possible for me to do that, but should I? Is it a good idea? No! Of course not. So, just because you could do something doesn't mean you should. On to would. Would is used to talk about imaginary situations. For example, Jack asked Sung-won, "Which one would you see?" Now, the meaning here is that Sung-won is not going to see any of them. But if she were, Sung-won also said, "I would definitely go if I were you." The meaning is, I'm not you, but I'm imagining I am. And if I were you, this is what I would do. Now, when giving advice using would, it's very common to use the second conditional, which has if plus the past simple and would plus the base form of the verb. Okay, let's focus on form. Use the modal verb plus not if it's negative and the base form of the verb. This means it never changes to agree with the subject of the sentence. Okay, positive statements. You should see it. A negative statement. You shouldn't see it. A positive question. Should you see it? And a negative question. Shouldn't you see it? Now, on to the exercises. Your job is to put the words below into the correct order to make a grammatically correct sentence. For example, not a movie should go we too. If you rearrange these words, you get the sentence, we should not go to a movie. Okay, here are the sentences. There are 5 more after this, and the answers are available after the next 2 slides. Here come the answers in 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Now it's time to take a look at the past modals: could have, should have, and would have. First, let's take a look at the grammatical pattern that you'll need to use with them. First is the modal verb plus not plus have plus the main verb in the past participle form. I'd like to take a moment to focus on have here. Have is in the base form, which means it does not change to agree with the subject. For example, I would have, you would have, he would have, she would have, it would have, etc. She would has? No, this is always wrong. Have never changes because it is in the base form. Actually, this pattern is called the perfect infinitive because, again, have is in the base form, which is also called the bare infinitive. Let's see some examples. Positive statements. I would have done. I could have done. I should have done. Negative statements. I would not have done. I could not have done. I should not have done. Positive questions. Would you have done? Could you have done? Should you have done? Negative questions. Wouldn't you have done? Couldn't you have done? Shouldn't you have done? Now it's time to focus on the meaning of the verb could. When you're using it to talk about the past, could have done is used to say what you didn't do even though it was possible. For example, you could have gone to Dongdaemun. Why didn't you? We could have gone shopping. We had free time and money, but we didn't because we were sleepy. We could have gone to the village. Unfortunately, we spent too much time in the cafe. Often, it is used to say that you disapprove of or are annoyed with someone for something they didn't do. You could have called. Why didn't you? They could have told us they weren't coming with a simple phone call. You could have told me that you had invited 7 more people. On to should. Should have done is used to tell people the right or correct thing to have done in the past. If you say a positive sentence, you're talking about something they didn't do. If you use a negative sentence, you're talking about something they did do. For example, you should have gone to Jeju Island. Did he go to Jeju Island? No! You shouldn't have spent the whole day in the hotel. Did he spend the whole day in the hotel? Yes! Should have done is also used to talk about regrets. Regrets about either what you did or did not do. Again, should have done, the positive sentence, is used to talk about something that you didn't do. And shouldn't have done is used to talk about something that you did do. For example, I shouldn't have spent the whole afternoon in the hotel. Did I spend the whole afternoon in the hotel? Yes! I should have gone to Dongdaemun. Did I go to Dongdaemun? No. Now here's a quick exercise. Decide whether each regret is about something that did happen or did not happen. I should have bought a lottery ticket. Did I buy a lottery ticket? No! I should have gone to a party. Did I go to the party? No! I shouldn't have bought those clothes. Did I buy those clothes? Yes! I should have come early. Did I go early? No! I shouldn't have sent that email. Did I send that email? Yes! Now, on to would. Would have done is used to imagine your own or someone else's behavior. For example, I would have gone to a Korean spa. I would have bought some happy socks. I wouldn't have spent so much time in my hotel. When talking about somebody else, we often make judgments based on what we know about their character. John would have gone to the traditional village. He loves that sort of thing. Sung-won would have spent all her time shopping. She loves shopping. Andy would have gone to the countryside. He hates the hustle and bustle of the big city. Consider this example. My friend Henry
Hello.
went to New York City a little while ago. Late at night, when he was going back to his hotel, he decided to cut through Central Park, where he met a thieving ninja who stole all his money. Let's give Henry some advice so he doesn't repeat his mistakes. Mistake number 1, he walked through Central Park alone at night. What could he have done differently? He could have taken a taxi. He could have walked around the park. He could have taken the subway. What should he have done? What was the right thing or best thing to do? He should have taken a taxi. Mistake number 2. He kept all his money on him. What else could he have done with his money? He could have left most of his money at the hotel. He could have kept 2 stashes of money on him, one to give the robber and one to keep hidden. He could have put his money in the bank and used a debit card. What would you have done? Personally, I would have put my money in the bank and used a debit card. Now, here's the first exercise. Read the dialogue below and complete each gap with the best modal based on the meaning. Here come the answers in 3. Here come the answers in 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Dialogue number 2. Do the same thing. Here come the answers in 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! And here's the final dialogue. Do the same thing. Here come the answers in 3, 2, 1. Ta-da! Okay, guys, now it's time to take a look at pronunciation. Remember, we're going to be looking specifically at the auxiliary verb have. We're going to be looking at quick speech, in which have is reduced to of, and super quick speech, in which it's reduced to Let's look at some examples. First, you'll hear me say it, then I'll pause and give you a chance to repeat. She could have done it. She could have done it. She couldn't have done it. She couldn't have done it. She should have done it. She should have done it. She shouldn't have done it. She shouldn't have done it. She would have done it. She would have done it. She wouldn't have done it. She wouldn't have done it. I would have gone if I could have gone. I would have gone if I could have gone. I wouldn't have told him if I were you. I wouldn't have told him if I were you. I could have gone to the movies with her. I could have gone to the movies with her. I should have asked you before I bought it for you. I should have asked before I bought it for you. I shouldn't have asked him to go to the party. I shouldn't have asked him to go to the party.